Alright, welcome to the heavy marksman and etc. weaponry video, where the fuck you call it. And don't mind the mirror being tilted. Uh, alright, let's start off with, in today's parts, this will be, well, I'm not going to split these into parts, but I'm going to prefer to call this part 1, because I'm going to record each one individually, which means I'll be going back to forth to the worlds I'm selecting here. Let's start off with the heavy cert, which is why I'm wearing Commander Thorn for this. Heavy certified people will be allowed to, when you get certified for heavy weapon, I'm sorry if it sounds like I'm stuttering. Anyway, when you get certified for heavy weapon, you'll be allowed to use the DC-15 LE. Some groups will allow you to get immediately certified. Once you get heavy certified, you'll be allowed to use the Z6 rotary cannon. But some groups will start you off as basic heavy cert. You start off with the DC-15 LE, or in some instances maybe the DC-15A, but that's also primarily a basic weapon in a lot of groups because it's seen as a basic weapon compared to like every other Republic weaponry that's ever been used. I'm adjusting my fucking mirror. It's so discombobulating. I'm sorry. Anyway, let's continue on. Heavy weapon. In worlds without a cooldown, unlike algorithms, in algorithms worlds, there is technically a cooldown. See here? It has a reload. If a world you go to doesn't have a reload, you are estimated to fire for 5 to 10 seconds, depending on which heavy weapon you use. It's supposed to be firing for 10 seconds. When I go to a basic combat world that doesn't have a cooldown, I'll show you how it's supposed to look. So, like I said, if it has a crosshairs, you could tilt it and use the crosshairs, but that would be pointless. The gun's heavily inaccurate the longer it shoots. The longer it shoots, the more inaccurate the gun gets. It has more spread because the fire rate and the fire rate. That is the point. If you get complaints, if people, oh my God, if you complain about the heavy weapon and how its spread is like, and because it's spread, oh my God, I actually thought that was a person. I almost thought that was a person. That I keep forgetting algorithm has all these NPCs. But yeah, anyway. If you complain about the heavy weapon, how inaccurate it is, why would you use it? It's not a sniper. It's not going to be accurate. You will look stupid in front of everyone. I know you'll probably say maybe Dev Ordos or any of the fucking Star Destroyers and all that shit had accurate rifles, like automatic rifles that will be a little more accurate. The thing is, that's one of the weird things that why I don't like certain people is because they compare it too much to other people or compare it to themselves. Anyway, back to the weaponry. The fire rate and all that, yes. Now, this is technically a basic heavy cert to most groups. I'll go over every basic heavy cert as of now. When you get basic heavy cert, if you're a basic trooper, you can use the DC-15 LE. And let's see. And if you preferably want to use separatist weapons, you'd be allowed to use the E5C, the separatist variation of the DC-15, the separatist variation of the DC-15 LE. Same thing, inaccurate, but it shoots a little faster. Or am I seeing things? Let's see. Wow, not only does it shoot a little faster, it reloads more early, which makes sense. Now then, we'll be moving on to, I thought, yeah, no, yeah, that's pretty much it from them. Now we'll move on to super heavy, or what people call super heavy. This is technically super heavy cert. The Z6 chain gun, which is that one over there, and the oh my god. The Z6 rotary cannon, and the Z6 chain gun. I'll go over the miscellaneous ones like the commando rifle, the 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 West Star M5, and thought that was one more. Guess not. Unless there isn't, I completely forgot what it was. Anyway, let's continue on. Z6 chain gun. Rotary cannon. Oh my fucking god. I have not used this one in Algorithms Worlds in a while, so I don't know if he had made the spread. Oh, the spread on this one is half bad as the DC-15LE. But anyway, like I said before, in certain worlds there will be a fire and cooldown rate, which means with the chain gun or in the rotary cannon, you need to put yourself on a 10 to 5 second cooldown. But what I usually do in worlds that don't have cooldowns, I usually do this. I shoot for a little bit, stop, and then go back to shooting, because I'm giving myself a cooldown of how the Z6 should be used. Because if you just keep firing while your enemies are already going to cover, or you are going to cover, that is pointless. You're forcing yourself to. You're going to force yourself to end up being forced to put yourself on the cooldown. Now let's move on to the Z6 chain gun. The chain gun, most groups, if they don't have it, if they have it, would only authorize these for Galactic Marines who are heavy certed, or just 21st. Well, at least the groups that prefer 21st to be the only Marine battalion. I think for some stars groups, it's kind of greedy at some degree, because like, what if someone really loves this but they don't like the Nova Company, they don't like Nova Corps, and they want to join something else? This thing has worse spread than the Z6 rotary cannon. It makes sense because this gun, well, it's shoulder mounted, and not only that, it's one-handed mostly, so expect inaccuracies and all that. I love that most people would make the Z6 chain gun, shoulder mounted chain gun, more inaccurate than the Z6 rotor cannon, because it actually makes sense. Now then, we'll be going on to our next world. Oh, and welcome to the continuation. Sorry if it's a little buggy. Or laggy. Anyway, the heavy weapons in this world would be both the DC-15LE and the Z6 rotary cannon, and the commando rifle at some degree. Anyway, like I said before, cooldown rate on worlds like this, when you're using the DC-15LE, you can shoot for about 10 or 15 seconds. No, probably about 15 seconds. Oh, that is loud. That is loud. Oh boy. Alright. Wait, I didn't even start counting. Alright. You could either hold it like that, crouch down like this, and yeah, 10 seconds will probably be way better. I would describe how I do it, because I don't really count. I just shoot, and then when I feel like it's pointless, I holster the gun and grab my pistol. But half the time I'm using a carbine, most half the time. Because I always end up using the riot shield, which is something I explained. Which is something you should watch if you're in shock or coruscant guard or whatever battalion does your security. And then, as for the Z6 rotary cannon, you shoot for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unless, or some people allow you to shoot for 10 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It is depending on what map it is and your target. Is what people decide whether to decide cooldown, and depending on how strong. I thought I saw something like I think I'm tripping today. Anyway, if you're shooting at said ship, what the fuck, dude? Like okay, I know there's a chance you could hit the pilot, but dude, you're much better using the rocket launcher. Something I will go over in another video, which will be my demolition video. All right. Yeah. Z6 combat worlds like this by 7 Sky Corp or any other combat world like Hyena Bomb. Shoot for 10 seconds. If it's a further target, it's most likely 15 to 20. Depending on how far your target is, it increases. In some instances, this rifle, the DC-15A, would be a burst rifle, technically, so to speak, because it would shoot automatically, but not as fast as the DC-15LE. It'll shoot as fast, identical yet slower speed as the DC-15A in algorithms, military base. And no, yeah, most controversial shit I'm about to say, it is not a Star Destroyer. I know it shows a picture of a Venator, but it's not a Venator, you fucking idiot. And people, I'd be asking, it is a Venator. Where? Give me your proof of that it is a Venator. Dude, this is like politics 101, dude. Shitty fucking description on what a fucking Venator is. Anyway, we'll be moving on to our next world. Alright, welcome to the Imperial version of the video. Oh yeah, I forgot half these weapons don't show up in the mirror. Alright, heavy weapons in Imperial worlds would involve the DOT. The DOT-19, I'm pretty sure is what it's called. Oh boy, shit's breaking. Anyway, you use it identically the same as others. I'm just going to turn off the world in the mirror. You shoot for 10 to 15 seconds, and you watch your fire. You make sure you don't hit your teammates and allies. It will involve the the DLT. Oh God, what? Oh my God, I feel like I almost had a nervous breakdown over saying DLT. 'Cause I'm pretty sure y'all heard that voice crack. Then there's the short trooper rifle, aka the E22. Some groups will authorize this for all basic heavy certed troopers, which is not true. If you have short troopers, no one but the short troopers use these if they're especially if they're heavy certed. And I think tank troopers also use those. This, yeah, I thought so. This, same thing, DOT. Let's see if it fires faster. Alright, this one shoots a tad bit faster than this one. The fire rate on this one's a little higher than this by a millisecond. Let's move on to the heavy weapons upstairs. And look, it's our old friend, the Z6 shoulder mounted chain gun. 15 to 10 second per shot. But the thing about this gun does a little less damage than most heavy weapons in this world. And oh, I was about to say, wait, where is this rifle at? But never mind. Almost missed this one out. This, I don't know what this is or what it's called, but I love it. I'm gonna keep that myself. Anyway, moving on to our next heavy weapon. The I wait, isn't this just a variant of the D? Wait, no, it's not. Yeah, no, it's not. What? I watched I watched a few Red 5 videos about about basic firearms and the Empire, the Republic. Hell, even like the colors of the fucking kyber crystals for the Jedi and what each kyber crystal meant. What is this? When this showed the DLT-19, that over there, it showed a picture of this as well. I'm like, this is not a DLT though. Its model design is different, but shoots faster than the DLT. Some people would refer this as the cock gun because the way it's built. Star Wars, don't attack me, gang. Don't come after me for it. It's technically on y'all for designing it that way. And then there is the DT rifles, aka the E11Ds. We all recognize the E11Ds as the rifles the DT troopers use. These weapons are mostly 4 to 5 shot in worlds like this, which is a hell of a gun to use. But personally, I prefer the DC-15 LE in the back. I was gonna ignore this one because I technically already went over it in the Hyena Bomber a minute ago. But yeah, you get it. 15 seconds on. Yeah. And then there's the red variant of the DLT of the D. Oh my. Of the E11D. Oh god. I'm guessing that's supposed to be for like ghost troopers or something. No, I'm taking off this miniguns. Make me feel uncomfortable. Then there's the one of my most favorite Star Wars rifles of all time, the Westar M5. Which I was about to go over, but I'm saving that for the arc part. The arc heavy weapon. Let's go on to one of the final heavy weapons of today's video. Well, you you get what I'm saying. This will be one of the last ones. This is it started with a T, I'm pretty sure. T20? I don't know. I forgot its whole name. T30, T4. I don't know. All I know, it started with the letter T. Most troopers who would use these are shock troopers. It's still technically a heavy weapon due to its high fire rate. And you get it. Now you're probably wondering, why am I not wearing Thorn? This is an Imperial Star Destroyer. Why would I be wearing a clone who died way before the Imperial era ever began? And I bet and by that science, I take that you understand now. Okay, no, I'm going to go over that one later or Spec Ops video. Yeah, that's pretty much all the heavy weaponry. Yeah, that's pretty much all the heavy weaponry in this base. Now, I'll be so happy to move on to the sniper or the marksman part of the video. Now then, we are here behalf of the marksman part of the video. Are you excited? Good? No? Okay, fuck you then. Anyway, the marksman behalf of the video. No, you will not be allowed to use this. Oh, I'm sorry. Does this look like a basic Republic weapon? No, more looks like Boba Fett's blaster. But we'll still go over that part of this video. Alright. Basic marksman weapon would be the DC-15X. DC-15X in algorithms, actually every sniper in algorithms world's OP, but the ARF rifle, which is something I'll go over in a minute. You shoot once, it's an insta-kill here. That's right, insta-kill in algorithms worlds. I like it, but it's also a bad thing. Because friendly fire, you could accidentally kill your own teammates. Alright, next rifle is the Vulcan. It's the Vulcan 38. I've been calling it the Vulcan 36. Whoop-de-doo. Alright, same thing. And fire. Yupperoo, gang. It's a single shot. So you have nothing to worry about cooldown. Don't worry, there's no cooldown. It's perfectly accurate. I'll go over that one flashed. I need to adjust my Google local settings real quick. There we go. I guess if you feel comfortable, you could use the... Never mind. He still hasn't fixed it. Now then, let's move on to the Separatist sniper. The ESC, I'm pretty sure it was called. Oh, well. Aim it like this. It's OP. It's good. I think it reloads faster than the DC-15X. I guess you could also count these into the video. But these will probably be marked down for bounty hunters if there are any in your group. Now, last but not least, Crosshair's sniper. I forgot its name, even though I have it written down in the Google Doc. one of the most iconic Bad Batch weapons, as it's always been attached to his back throughout the whole series. Okay, no, let's actually use the crosshair. That is behalf of Algorithm's Marksman weapons. No, Spec Ops video. Yeah, that's behalf of the Marksman weapons. I'll go over the ARF rifle when I get to the ARC and ARF part of the video. And Commando. Alright, now this one will be quick and easy. Because, well, there's only one sniper. Well, I will go to George's side so I can describe theirs. The sniper here, it's like a 3 to 2 shot. One. With the sniper part, I'll be heading over towards Haru Citadel after I go to the Imperial one. But anyway, like the sniper here, let's say we need to get to a position to hit someone. Let's see. You know what? We're taking the car. It's rather convenient. Now then, we're at our sniping position. Honestly, this is a damn crappy sniping position. Let's get further out. Don't mind the driving. I could cut this out in the video, but well, I'd rather let y'all shit on my driving skill. Might gain to a good position to use the sniper. Ooh boy. Here we go. Good sniping spot. There we go. Alright. To use the sniper, it's kinda cakework. You aim, look for a target, and then 3, 2, 1. You fire, strike, and if you miss, you move your position. Oh boy. If you miss, change your position. Move somewhere else so you are able to hit them again without them knowing where you're hitting from. Now we're moving on to the droid variants of the sniper. This would not be considered to some groups. It would be seen as a basic rifle because it doesn't really have a scope to work with. So let's grab this. And, are there speeders? No, I don't think there are speeders. Okay, looks like we'll be flying. Because I don't want to just go all the way back to clone area and steal theirs. Matter of fact, why don't they get speeders? Heavily disadvantage for the droid team. Holy, like I don't like droids, but holy shit. No speeder, behalf of the droid army. Kind of rude, dude. Getting to a good spot. Oh, this map is huge. And there's a random match. Wait. I've never seen this. Well, that's because I never explored the map. Oh, it's a teleporter. Yeah. Let's go over here. Now here, it's identically the same. Find your position. Sit, crouch down. And you fire. As you can see, I am dog shit when it comes to using snipers, so I don't use them. I used to be decent with them, but my I started developing stick drift, and that's when I started to stop using snipers. We'll be moving on to the Imperial Star Destroyer now. Welcome to the Marksman part on the Imperial Star Destroyer. You're wondering, why am I not wearing Thayer? It's because, well, Thayer, he did not really have binocs on his phase 2. I need something to identify him doing Marksman. So I'm wearing the phase 2 specialist of the Coruscant Guard. Now then, same shit here. Vulcan, 38. Yeah. You be using this if you're if you're in the shock or whatever the fuck you call them. Use those weapons back there. Now let's move on to the marksman weapons. That'll be this. Fucking 50 cal, 80 cal. Where the fuck? Anti-material rifle. This thing was OP until they nerfed it. It was almost impossible to fight against someone who's using that and a lightsaber. Let's go upstairs and take a wait. If you're a scout in the Imperial groups, you get to use the pistol I call the buggy pistol because how tiny it is. And then there is these. So scout troopers, one of my few favorite Imperial units. Yes. No. And I swear, almost every empire does this. In empires, I say scouts or marksman certed stormtroopers should start off with this sniper. No, and not the fucking anti-material. Starting off with the anti-material is the weirdest yet tank thing. That's like having all your units move on to that. Be equal. Let them start off with this. When they climb up the ranks and climb up the certs, they get to use that. Sound reasonable? Good. It better. Wait, you start off with this sniper. Let's move on to one upstairs. Here we go. This sniper, I don't know half their names. I don't care about Imperial weapons like that because I mostly prefer clones. This one? It says the snipe is like the scope is working like right over here. Yeah, the sniper scope is like over here for it, which is good, but it's also weird, especially the fact the scope is on the more left than more right. Let's make sure there's no more snipers in this world. Why am I talking like that? Oh yes, the Mandalorian rifle. Something that still needs to get. Oh yeah, the scope doesn't even work. Okay, I guess no. I mean there are the raid ones, but I don't really care. Oh yeah, here's the other scout pistol. I like the muzzle flash. Anyway, that is pretty much all the snipers here. We'll be moving on to Haru Citadel and ending the segment. Welcome to the final segment of the Marksman part. After this, we'll be going over we'll be doing the Commando, Airborne, ARC, and ARF in a separate video. Well, Commando is going to be its own thing. ARC and ARF is going to be its own thing. Well, actually, I'll do Airborne in this one as well. There's not really any Airborne rifles in all the other worlds. Oh, you gotta be serious. This headset sucks. I felt so professional the whole time until now. Give me a minute. Perfect. Now then, let's move on to the to our rifles. Some people consider this as a marksman for, well, Haru messed it up and made the LE, the supposed heavy automatic rifle, into marksman. See? You have to spam it. Some people consider these as marksman, which I guess, because like for some groups, like I mentioned before, the DC-15A would operate as the marksman-related rifle. So let's move on to this one. This would also fall under military, but some groups will consider it as the bounty hunter one because it's not really, well, professional looking like the one next to it. This one. You use the crosshairs up here, or the sights up here, or the crosshairs down here. God, I can't believe I messed that up just now. Oh my god, I feel dumb. I feel dumb. Now let's see here. Bingo. Here is the anti-material, the most OP weapon in all combat worlds. You want to know why? It's two-shot. This should be considered the last marksman weapon you could ever achieve because how strong it is. Look, 3, 2, 1. Oops. 3, 2, 1. That's why. Let's go into the droid team and show you the droid weapons. Most of the same, But the droid version of the sniper is a little more different. Oh, I keep forgetting my mirror's not in here. Here we go. Now, I kind of like the sound here more. It's a little more sensitive. Same thing here. And it will work for Haru's because this is still technically Haru's. It's using the same control. It's using the same layout, UI, and all of it. That's why I didn't go to Haru's. I went here because there's more weaponry in case I missed one. You probably going to tell me go over the that one rifle, the Spec Ops rifle. That will be saved for a different video. Now then, let's end this one here. In this segment, we're moving on to Airborne. I was about to move to another world for this, but I'm like, well, this is the only world that actually has airborne weapons because the shotgun's all I need. The shotgun, some people consider the shotgun as an airborne weapon. It's fine. I kind of like the idea because airborne troopers seem like the guy who the units who will fuck you up if you look at their boss in a mean way. So I kind of like that. Oh god, that sounded awful. That sounded awful, dude. All right, airborne. Oh wait. Let's quickly go over the shoulder-mounted heavy weapon here. Like I said before, way earlier in the video, the shoulder mount is very inaccurate compared to the Z6 rotary cannon. Look at all that spread. It's not further. Well, because that's also because weapons like that aren't supposed to be meant for far range. There is tad bit less spread, but tad bit, not entirely. Anyway, let's move on to the shotgun first. Some groups will say airbornes are one of the few units that are allowed to use the shotgun, which shotgun also falls under the engineer. And trust me, engineer training, it's not a specified training. Personal opinion, engineer training should fall under driving tanks and all that. And if you have good experience using tanks or vehicles on VRChat, like the TX-130 or 150 or 180, wherever it's pronounced, then you should be engineer if you have major experience. Experience like using like vehicle like stuff like the AT and all that. Yeah, you get what I'm saying. Shotgun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bullets. Remember, the shotgun's not a rifle. So if you're going to use it, make sure you are close enough to your enemy and have good aiming. Once this baby runs out of ammo, it'll take a minute for you to reload and you will get bombarded. by either a lot of troopers, depending on how many people are there, or if those guys are actually professional and they're in the call together. You'll be screwed. And then here we go with the CR. The CR, aka what some people call the airborne rifle. Which I think it's a good thing. I like it. It actually gives airborne a purpose other than jumping off planes. Using this rifle gives you the immediate advantage because how its fire rate and its damage. Let me show you. See? Oh, wait, let's go over the shotgun here. Now, the shotgun here is my most favorite model of the shotgun in Star Wars. Let me go back to Republic team so I can look at myself in the mirror like an idiot. This is the shotgun of the Separatist team, which is my most favorite model of the shotgun. Ow. That hurt, but it also didn't hurt too bad. Anyway. Now, let's go over the West Star shot. Well, the West Star shotgun I'll go over in my ARC video. That is pretty much everything you need to know. Like I said, shotgun, it's more about close range than long range. That rifle back there, it's more about, well, the CR, you might be required to be a little closer, but not too close. A tad bit close. You can still handle at the far range, but you don't have to be too close to them or close to them. Because if I show you its fire, its range. Let me show you. It has the same identical spread as the Z6 and the Z6 series heavy weapons. Airborne troopers. I'm gonna go over that before I cut this off. Airborne troopers are expected to jump out of planes in a timely manner as the pilot or whoever is telling them when to jump. You don't have to jump immediately, but you have to jump at the exact. But you don't have to jump like immediately when they say, even though they're not they're not flying above the point. But you're at least supposed to jump near the point or jump at a position close to the point. And you're supposed to follow a direct objective and have an objective. You ain't supposed to succeed in that getting the objective, but you're supposed to at least 100%. But you're supposed to succeed at least 50 to 75% of that objective, which means you got to the point and tried your best to hold off the enemy. You're not expected to survive because it's a VR game. There is no equality, really. You're gonna get fucked up, honestly. And this is probably gonna spike a little backlash. Airborne troopers are allowed to use marksman weapons as well. They're not bound to shotguns. They're not bound to the CR. They can use marksman weapons. So if you ever see an airborne trooper wearing binocs, if you've ever learned in history, airborne troopers are also allowed to use marksman rifles. And in the classic video game of Star Wars: The Battlefront 2, 2005, you would see a moment where an airborne trooper, was it 2006? No, I think it was 2005. You will see in the original copy, airborne troopers are the troopers who have the marksman rifle in the Phase 2 era of the Clone Wars game, of the Star Wars Battlefront 2 game. Because, yeah, in like during the game, whenever you play Clone Team and it's Phase 2 era clones, you will see an airborne helmet of 5th Fleet or 501st, whatever. The pattern looks like Barlick's, but it's blue, so it's probably 5th. It's about 5th Fleet. So you'll see a 5th Fleet trooper with a sniper rifle called the Specialist or something like that. That means Airborne were also possibly able to shoot enemies from the ship. But for some reason, people don't do that because it's hard to keep the ship still and it's hard to really hit your designated target in the moving thing in VRChat. So I guess it makes sense why people never really done it. You cannot mix up certs though. If you're going to use the heavy, you can't use the marksman at the same time. If you're going to use the marksman, you can't use the heavy at the same time. If you're going to use one, you can use it. You can switch the weapon out if you die in the combat. You can't use it at the same time. You cannot have an automatic weapon on your leg and then grab a sniper rifle and do this. And let me show you what I mean. You can't do this. You know how fucking cheatsy that is? It's cheatsy and gives your enemies at a disadvantage. And then your kill will render null and end up resulting in your team losing the combat. I've seen it happen before. I've seen it happen before. And literally makes the guy who done that look fucking brain dead. Well, anyway, I'll go over the Airborne, like the entirety of Airborne stuff in my pilot video, which my pilot video will also be my engineer video, where I go over vehicles and how Airborne works and how pilot works.